Ba ba ba. The great Dawson refuses to be categorized, to be uncategorized. Oh my goodness, friends. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm going to be going through an in-depth review of what I got up to in June. And a while ago, I used to do quite intensive monthly reviews of my life and business, and I took a break from it, but I thought it'd be fun to bring it back and do a review of my June. There's been so much happening in my world, and I thought it would just be a really fun way to celebrate it all. So I'm going to share with you during this what I got up to on the life and the business front, what I created, the lessons I learned along the way, and the revenue I created as I went. For me, June really feels like it has been one of the biggest months that I've experienced in a long time. It was just so full of inner and outer growth, and I feel so bloody grateful for having experienced it. So in late May, I ended up deciding to run June as a launch month. And usually when I do a launch, I'll focus on just one program and run a longer month-long launch for it. And this time I decided to do a bit of a fun experiment and do 3 shorter launches during it. And I set the goal to do $250,000 a month. That's what I was moving towards. And I made up my usual money thermometer to get rolling. Now I do have some pictures and screenshots to share. So if you want to see the graphics for it as well, you can go to leoniedawson.com/211 for the companion pictures. So I remember as I was pulling out big sheets of paper to brainstorm what I would do. And as I was doing it, I just had this wild idea to sell backstage passes where people could get behind the scenes daily updates of exactly what I was doing each day during the launch, lessons that came up during it, emotions I experienced during the launch. And before I could second guess myself, I just jumped into action, created a sales page and launched it to my list within an hour or two of having the idea. And it ended up being the most genius idea. And I'm so grateful that I did it. I sent out a little graphic and it said, want to be a fly on the wall of my studio as I launch and make cash like this. And it had 4 screenshots of different launch months that I'd experienced. So it was $267,000, $232,000, $150,000, and $146,000. And I really had no idea how much money I was going to make during that time. I always set really big goals, and usually the goal is way bigger than what I end up achieving. But I'm always of the mind of that saying, if you shoot for the stars, shoot for the moon, you'll end up on the stars. And whoever said that saying has no friggin' idea how space works. But I think it's useful, to just go you know what? Pie in the sky, let's go for this. So in terms of how I ran Backstage Pass, I set it up as a Telegram group where I shared my daily updates. And I found using Telegram really effective for sharing daily messages in programs. People will instantly get alerted to it, and it's so accessible for them to watch and read. I also enabled a channel option in Telegram so people could ask me questions, and another channel where they could chat together as well. And that all worked really beautifully. I also ran weekly debrief calls where I did intensive reviews of that week in the launch, what I learned, what worked, what didn't work. And then I opened up for Q&A as well. And then I did a final debrief call to finish it out. That was much more intensive and extensive, and it was just so beautiful. And all of the call recordings from it as well would live in our Kajabi learning library for clients to easily access as well. So then I was right, I need to set up the energetics of launch month. And I set the scene first by doing a vision board of what I wanted to feel during launch month. And I did it the old fashioned way with magazines and glue and scissors, and that felt really beautiful and really potent. And as well, I really love looking back at that image now, because I look at it oh my God, I really did feel that. I really felt those feelings during that launch, and I feel so proud of myself for it. And I also painted up a really important message as well. It says, "You are the lever." And I remember at the business retreat that I've shared about that I went on, I had shared that I had felt frustrated when I'd like pressed a bunch of different levers in my business and not gotten results out of it. And my beautiful friend, Kerry Rowett, ended up writing in a letter to me, "You are the lever." And it sounds so simple, but it was so potent for me. I am the lever. I am the golden ticket. I am the silver bullet. I am the one that creates incredible success. So that felt really beautiful to have on my wall, and it's still hanging above me right now as I speak to you. Then I launched a small group mastermind. I've been thinking about doing one for a long while, but I'd just been second guessing the timing. And with the energy of launch month, I just decided like now was the perfect time. So I launched Momentum Mastermind, and I had 22 beautiful humans join it. And oh my goodness, I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad that I got out of thinking about it mode and actually just doing it mode, because so quickly it just got so deep, and my level of coaching deepened to this whole other level and morphed, and it wove into this incredible tapestry where I brought in like really deep intuitive healing as we went. Because like for years I've been wondering why, when people said they wanted to do something and I taught them how to do it, not everyone would just go and do the thing. They'd still be stuck, even when I'd given them all the knowledge. And I've been realizing more and more that I need to interweave like this inner work and the energy work stuff with the strategy and the knowledge work. And Momentum has ended up being the most incredible experience for that already. So here's what I wrote in the first 2 days of it. I wrote, "I've spent 3 hours over the last 2 days in group calls with my Momentum Mastermind, and I'm just blown away. It was scheduled to just be 1 hour, but everyone was so exquisite we needed to be together more. I look at these astonishing humans that have gathered: therapists, camel experts, psychics, system experts, dog behavioralists, jewelers, Indigenous public health academics, healers, and so much more. And the quality of humans is just astounding. Every time I think I've done my best work, out comes more. Blending the practical and the mindset, and even cracking open my spiritual toolbox to channel and do group meditations and healings. It's all coming together, and it feels so potent and so alive. I want to cry, and I want to dance, and I want to offer up my open-hearted chest to the sky and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for bringing these extraordinary humans into my life. Thank you for entrusting me with this container. Thank you for bringing us all together so that we may heal and grow and bloom in 1,000 different directions. It all feels like the most extraordinary miracle, and so many decades of work and dreaming and desires all weaving together. I couldn't be more grateful. I'm so glad I said yes to this journey. I'm so glad I said yes to every idea that's come my way. I'm so glad for every soul who has said yes to walking this journey with me. This right here feels like a miraculous way to live my life. Thank you, yes, and more, please. And the feedback from it was just so immediately astonishing as well. Somebody texted me and said, 3 hours in, and hands down, it was the best mastermind I've ever been a part of. I love you and what you bring, Leonie. I'm so grateful. Another person wrote, Leonie, thank you for last night. What I felt was indescribable, beautiful, and impactful. Thank you to everyone who participated and allowed me the space to grow. My heart is full of peace and gratitude this morning. My goodness. I feel like my work has just taken on this whole other level. It really has. It's so potent, so wild, and that experience has just continued to deepen. When I initially thought up and dreamed up Momentum, and I advertised it was going to include 1 hour of group coaching a week. But as soon as we began circling, I felt intuitively that group, that moment, it needed more, and I wanted to do more. And so it's ended up being 3 to 4 hours of group coaching calls per week. And sometimes I've done those 4 hours of coaching calls in one day. And I am astonished that not only am I able to do this, but I've enjoyed the absolute shit out of me, and it's not drained me at all. And it's total evidence to me of all the ways that I've grown my energetic capacity hugely this year. I've shared about it, the ways that I've changed in a previous podcast episode. But the work I've done in expanding my nervous system capacity and also just my emotional capacity has just been huge and life-changing. And the healing work I've done around it has just been so impactful. And I feel so profoundly honored that I get to do this work and experience these moments with these souls. It's so obvious to me that we were contracted to do this work together, and it's an honor to hear their stories and witness their shifts and see them lighter and brighter. And from that place, all miracles can be achieved. And I want to be really honest with you as well in terms of, was it a huge, massive, income boost for me? And the answer is no. And I earned about $20,000 from running Momentum, which is, incredible. And also in the largest scale of my business that does about $1 million a year. It's only a fraction, but I genuinely feel like I have gotten just a huge amount out of it. And it has been incredibly impactful for me personally. I think for a while I actually stopped looking at how important, what's the right words for this? I started equating how much an offering earned with the value of it. And the threads of it just got skewed for a while there. And now I just think oh my gosh, this was the best idea of 2025 already. It's one of the most miracle ideas of my life. And it feels so good to realign myself with seeing that it's really not all about the money, it's about the impact and the healing and the growth and all that kind of stuff. Because I think we can all get into that place when we're in business of overthinking it and being too money strategic, even when that's not what motivated us in our business to begin with, even when it's not how we, really want to live our lives. And so it's been beautiful to really reconnect and just go, oh my God, this was the best decision, even if financially it's not the biggest winner. Energetically, it is 100% the biggest winner for me. So 6 weeks into running Momentum, and I just feel so fucking lucky. This has just well and truly changed the trajectory of my work and deepened it. And it's absolutely 10 out of 10. I also realized as well during the launch container that I realized I needed a new money container. And I realized I don't actually have a purse. 99% of the time when I'm out, I'm with my husband and he'll just carry everything in his pockets. And the rest of the time, if I'm by myself, I cart around a really big leather satchel backpack that I can put shove all of my creative pack rat supplies in there. And I realized this when I was on the Gold Coast at the business retreat, and me and some of my mates went into the Louis Vuitton store to have a look. And it was so funny because I was trying on some Louis Vuitton handbags and I was carrying all my crap around in this $5 tote bag that I bought at your Monday markets. And I was like, this is hilarious. This is really hilarious. And I felt symbolically like I needed somewhere to hold my gold. And Louis Vuitton really isn't my kind of colorful maximalist style. Plus I wasn't at the point about feeling joyful and spending thousands on a purse. yet. I might in the future find something that completely like lights me up and I go, yeah, I love that. I want that and want to invest my money in those ways. But instead, I ended up buying a beautiful like pink heart handbag from Camilla that usually does like silk caftans, and I own some of those. And it says "Con Amor" on it, which means with love. And that felt like such a beautiful upgrade for me. And I look at it and I just feel so proud. Like, yes, you go, girl. You're 42 and you just bought yourself a purse, and I'm so proud of you, doll. I'm so proud of you. So that felt like a really good upgrade for me. And then the last stage of the launch, for the last couple of weeks of the month, I did a promotion for my Brilliant Biz and Life Academy, and then I closed doors for enrollments. And I'm not sure when I'll open the doors again, either later this year, but probably next year at this rate. And I just feel so excited to have beautiful new humans in the academy and getting to just spoil them all with the panoply of goodness that's in there. So this month I'm running a new updated live round of money manifesting in multiple streams of income. And so everybody's in the academy gets that. And also if you've purchased that course before, you also get access to it. And I'm taking that program that I originally created a few years ago and I am deepening the experience of it. And it's just been so beautiful. I did one of the calls for it this morning and there was so many tears and breakthroughs with people, and it feels so freaking delicious. Like a whole other level of not just teaching the people the practical stuff, but also like really emotionally and energetically getting them ripe and ready and radiant to really dive into their money goddess nature and create so much beautiful abundance for themselves. And it feels like a women's circle around money. I was sitting with my husband this morning. We went for a walk through this beautiful cedar forest and it was absolutely freezing cold. It's the middle of winter here in Canberra, but it was so beautiful. And then we went and warmed up at the Arboretum, and the Arboretum is on a beautiful mountain and you look over the rest of Canberra, and we were sharing a little bit of breakfast and some hot tea to thaw our faces. And I was telling him, like, I feel like all this money work, now I'm doing women's circle around it. It's like a women's circle around money. And yes, it's got the practical bits. Yes, it's got like all of the behind the scenes of the ways that we've created wealth, but it's also like the inner work that took us to go there. And he totally got it because we went on this journey together. We made this commitment back in our 20s to get good with money and went on this beautiful self-growth journey together about it. He was the one who actually came up with the idea for it. And I'm so proud of us for doing it and for all the ways we've created miracles in our lives since then. And I love being able to pay it forward and deepen that experience even more for the people who are in it. I'm also going to do another round of big money, big impact in the next few months. I ran that earlier this year in the academy and people could purchase it individually as well. And that was so freaking fun. The energy last time was so delicious. And I loved seeing everybody's like results flying in daily and how like engaged and excited people were and getting sales. And oh, it was so much fun. So I'm really excited to do another round of that. And also just see what new stuff wants to come through as well. I'm so friggin' proud of everything I've already created with the academy. There's over 100 courses and templates in there, and I'm just excited to just keep deepening the journey in there. I feel like I'm going this huge growth process myself, and it's going into my work and deepening my work, and it's even more magical. And I love that it's just going to keep infusing, and it really is just this revolutionary membership for entrepreneurs. So yum, 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 yum. Nom, 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 nom. Chef's kiss. Okay, so finishing out the month, Backstage Pass. Like, I absolutely friggin' love doing Backstage Pass and giving people full behind the scenes pass into my launch month. It's kind of this like kooky idea that I haven't done before. The humans in there were just 10 out of 10 lovely. And I adored getting to share and chat and debrief with them every day and every week. And it taught me so much as well about how to lead myself through the emotional ups and downs of launching and model the highest evolution I could in the moment, because I was having to record everything I was doing and really looking at my own patterns. It ended up just being this incredible process for me. And I love that it was so delicious and helpful for the people who were in it as well. And, people shared I got so much out of this, and I don't think I've ever seen somebody share behind the scenes on the level that you did, because usually people share the polished debrief after it's all through, but Backstage Pass really let you into exactly what was happening each day. For example, we started dog sitting a doggy, and who was a really young Labrador who loves to put everything in his mouth. And I was like, oh God. And I was like, okay, this is great. I'm going to have to regulate my nervous system around it. I was like, what was I doing? This is like having a toddler in the house. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to expand my capacity. And then, and then that afternoon we have a car accident and a car hits us. And I'm like, right. Okay. What story do I want to tell about this? It just really activated something big and beautiful and powerful for me. And so many people shared as well, the amount that they got out of it, because they realized I don't follow a huge formula when it comes to my business, with launching. It's much more intuitive, and whatever energy I feel then that's what I do. And it gave people so much permission to launch the ways that they do. And I think people as well just got so much magic out of the process and felt oh, this is so much more aligned. This is so much a better way for me to launch. Somebody was like, this is such a breath of fresh air in this industry. I thought it was really unrealistic for me to achieve it. But then seeing the way that you launch, I was like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. So I loved that. I absolutely loved it. Now, in terms of the final results of the launch, where the sales came through, approximately 70% came through Academy sales, 15% came through the Momentum Mastermind, 13% came through Backstage Pass, and then I had 1.4% come through sales of extra things, from ebooks to individual courses. My paid advertising spend was $7,061 on affiliates and $0 on Facebook ads. And the sales for that June launch period, which ended up being about 33 days because there was some overlap just at the beginning of it, from when I first started sharing Backstage Pass, the running cash total was $135,000, with another $3,900 of payment plans to come in, and the sales total was just under $140,000 for the month. So I didn't reach that $250,000 goal I originally set, and remember, I shared with you, I so rarely hit my launch goals. And I'm so genuinely incredibly happy with how the month turned out, how much I learned, how much I earned, and all of the blessings along the way. I learned so much. My business has been doing around 7 figures since 2014, but I still want to keep these big numbers in perspective and not take them for granted. Earning almost $140,000 in 1 month is wild. When my husband and I work full time, we used to earn less than that in a year with both of our salaries. So $140,000 a month is beyond so many people's wildest dreams. It was the me of 15 years ago, 15 years ago, wildest dreams. And I still want to celebrate the absolute bananas out of it. And I don't want to feel downtrodden just because I don't reach a goal, especially since I very rarely reach the enormous goals that I set for myself. Hey guys, on my year 5 report card, it says Leonie sets very unrealistic goals for herself and then is bitterly disappointed when she doesn't reach them. And I love that I still have that inclination to set really outlandish goals, But what I am changing is that feeling of bitter disappointment, because that is not a vibe, and that is not exciting, and that is not delicious, and that's not how I want to live my life. Also, like, I want to recognize, like, it's not just $140,000 in money. I genuinely had the most incredible month, and I feel like I grew exponentially. My capacity to hold energy and lead and coach and manage myself was astonishing and so much bigger than I think I've ever experienced. It just felt like such a holy wow. I'm so proud of myself, so grateful, and so heart open wide at the miracle of it all. In fact, one of the people who was in Backstage Pass, who has a multiple six-figure business, she ended up saying to me, I'm actually so glad that you didn't hit your launch goal, because I got so much more out of it than if you had. The way that I saw you lead yourself through that and celebrate yourself and your business and the reality of everything, even when you didn't hit the goal that you wanted, was life-changing on a cellular level. And that makes me so happy. That makes me so happy that that shift that I've been able to do internally for myself was evident for everybody else, and that they too can learn how to hold the energy of it and still celebrate, even if they don't like get 10 out of 10 or hit exactly the marks that they want. Whatever it is, we still deserve to celebrate ourselves and hold things in perspective and still be grateful for what we have. So while all that magic was happening in my business, I still had, a big, beautiful life to uphold, filled with so many precious moments. That doggy that we ended up dog sitting for 5 weeks, and he was just such a goofy Labrador, and it delighted my heart so much. And I also initially had to learn how to expand my energy and hold alpha dog energy, and because I think I was confusing him a little bit with my capacity to just get on the ground and wrestle with him. And I've always felt like a Labrador or a golden retriever in human form. So to have a real life one in my house felt like a dream come true for me. And we spoiled him wildly with all of the comfort and the cuddles and the massages that he could cope with. And it was just so heart healing for us, especially, it's been 18 months since we lost our last puppy dog, Angel, who lived to the grand old dame age of 19. And going through that experience of, caring for a extremely elderly dog with very high care needs, and then having to grieve the loss of no longer having dogs in the house after having them for 20 years, it was really big. And doing some dog sitting was really heart healing for us. So heart healing. And the weirdest thing, oh my God, I have to tell you this. It's a weirdest story, but it's amazing. So when we lost Angel, we had to take her to the vets because she was at end stage and wasn't eating anymore. And so it was the last day of her life, and it was incredibly sad, of course. And I went back out to the car after Angel had transitioned, and somebody had hit our car and done a hit and run in the car park. We had just had a big dent in our car. And we were like, holy fuck, this is like country song levels of sadness. My dog just died and someone hit our car. Like, this is horseshit. And we also never got around to fixing the dent. We had something booked in, and then we decided to move, and they were like, okay, we'll just get it done later. And it just got pushed on the back burner. So we've had a dented car for 18 months. And the day that we got Rocky, another car drove into us, and thankfully we were all safe. He was safe. We were all okay. But the miraculous thing is that it hit exactly the same spot as last time. He was insured, and now our car finally gets fixed after having this big dent in it. And it's like it was the day that we lost our old dog and the same day that we started looking after a new one. And I was like, oh my God, is there like a feng shui of a car? Is there like a dog corner And that's the one that just keeps getting nerfed. It keeps getting nerfed, it gets impacted. So I choose to like tell a story like, oh, what a miracle. We got healed emotionally from being in having a beautiful doggy in the house. And we also, our car denting gets fixed for free. Thank you, universe. What a blessing. What a blessing. So I feel really grateful about that. Having said that, I don't know if we're ready yet to have another puppy ourselves, but it was miraculous to have one for 5 weeks. We also went on lots of walks, of course, and I really do love walking in Canberra's winters, and the sky is so beautiful and it's just lovely to stride along in boots and a big puffy jacket. And I also made a new friend, and it was just like such a joyful night of like giggle snorts and synchronicities, and it was just so gorgeous. And I also found a wonderful new osteopath named Kat Young at Fundamental Health. And as a hypermobile hottie, like osteopaths are like heaven sent for keeping my bones in place. And I think I was holding out on finding one here in Canberra because I adored my Noosa osteopath so much, Dr. Sophie Toland at Homebody Clinic, who is just an angel of a human. And I think I was like kind of grieving somehow that I just wouldn't have Sophie anymore. So I wasn't trying to find an osteopath. And then I needed one. And so it was just one of those beautiful things. I just looked at whatever osteopaths near me had openings that day, and she was there, and she was just down the road, and I booked, and then it was like, found her, and it was just like, instant kindredship, total connection, total joy. And I just feel so grateful to have an osteopath support in my corner again. So what a miracle. And lastly, two of my biggest life blessings in June is my 11-year-old asking for us to wear the exact same outfit when we went out. And so both wearing very bright, colourful, patterned clothes, and we have matching rainbow cardigans. So we got to wear those together. I'll never say no to my kids wanting to wear matching stuff. And then as well, I found my 11-year-old had also did like a questionnaire about me. And oh my gosh, it filled my heart with so much joy. So let me read it out to you. It says, my mum's name is Leonie. She is 41 years old with a question mark. Close enough, 42. She does fun things at work. That's how she describes what I do for work, and that is accurate. I do fun things. Thank you, my darling. She is so funny when she makes a joke. You're right. She is happy when she is with family and friends. My mum always said to me, there's nothing that can stop me from loving you. And I just want to cry when I think about that, because that feels like the biggest parenting achievement that I could ever unlock, for my kids to know that there's nothing that they can do that will stop me from loving them. So with that, I feel like June was just a work of art. It felt rapturous and filled with growth and gladness and evolution. And I am so, so proud of myself and in awe of the universe. I feel like in some ways I was kind of a bit dormant in my personal growth, and now I feel like it's like full spring, and I'm just arms wide open saying, yes, thank you, please more, just like this. So thank you for sharing this journey with me. I am so excited for what's more to come. I'm sending you so much love and so many blessings, and may your day be blessed.